Okay, trying out different voice recorder app. Ooh, okay. But Landon, dog's running away. This one I wanted to be more of an argument, I guess you could say, for like doing different work, like someone that may be stuck doing tech stuff or focused on doing that, being good for them to do things like having chickens, growing their own garden, or even finding a farm job that they can get during the season, because it really helps you appreciate where your food and stuff comes from, and helps you learn where it comes from too. It's not Think and Grow Rich, but it gives you a lot more context, and that kind of stuff can be good for people that need other inspiration for whatever project that they're working on. So, like for example, when you grow your own food, you really appreciate it a bit more, and it does ease up on your paycheck on that as well. I've found that, like, for example, when gust of wind, thank you. When doing something like picking tomatoes, for example, that it gives me time to really like get my noggin jogging, and so I've used that as kind of that meditation thinking time to process things. And in some ways it's a stress reliever, because it's something that you can take and you're getting not just like work out of it, but you can get food out of it too. So like working in tomato fields, it's got both lunch and work wrapped into it. But it's also made me see like some of the funky things that we do as a society. That's really odd, because it's given me a couple pet peeves as well that I really wouldn't have had without it, because of like certain regulations and things with like the FDA and all. It's like, well, you've got to wash your hands to pick tomatoes. It's like, okay. And then the employees have to wash their hands when they handle the tomatoes and all and stack them up. But then you watch all these customers come in with their grubby little hands and just touch everything and put it back. They're feeling it, they're like squeezing it, bruising it, and things like that. And it's like, what about them? Really? I mean, we're gonna blame the farmer if there's an outbreak of like Ebola or some crap on the tomatoes. And for all we know, it may have come from one of the customers, like, touchy-feeling all the food. And I don't think a lot of people really get that problem, because they haven't had to deal with the regulation, or they've never had a job where they've had to. So it really opens up your eyes. And another thing too is like, you get these people, it's like, well, I do this, that, and the other, and they don't do anything with their own food and all. And so they feel like they're higher up there. It's one of those down-to-earth activities that you can do when you have to take care of your own garden, when you have to take care of your own chickens, where in the activity it can humble you, because if you're taking care of it yourself, you appreciate it a bit more. And you're doing some of the dirty work that maybe you wouldn't normally do in your normal day-to-day work or whatever. It's a humbling activity that you can do, and more than anything, it keeps you down to earth and keeps you from getting all like hot-headed, I think. Because there are a lot of people out there, they get so caught up in the minutia, and I think in part that's due to the fact that that's all they've got to worry about. They don't have to worry about like the safety of their own chickens or like their garden growing and thinking about that. So they focus so much on like what goes on in the microcosm of the internet that becomes their little thing, and they get stuck in their own little bubbly thing. Whereas they may think a bit differently if they actually grew their own stuff and saw that food and eggs and things come from more than just the magical place we call the store. So I could ramble on for a bit longer. I'd like to, but I really don't have anything else coming. So I will let this one go. Okay, small addendum. Back to noggin jogging. So usually when I'm doing the manual labor, that's like I mentioned, it's usually when I get my noggin jogging, and I found inspiration for different things and stupid ideas during that like manual labor time. So I mean, it's not all bad, and like I mentioned, like some people may need that for their tech whatever job in all jobs. So I usually don't let a good idea go to waste during those moments too. Well, even the bad ideas don't go to waste, because usually they get like solidified in some form or factor, put in to more than concept. So don't let those ideas go to waste. Like, there are a lot of ideas that have gotten some like small stupid things that I've done in like YouTube videos, and there have been other things that have just kind of like floundered, but like not letting an idea go to waste, and especially like having that time to be able to come up with those ideas is important, which is why another reason why I would vouch for like those farm jobs, because it gives you time to, while you're picking and working with food, to also pick and work with ideas that you could turn into the next big moneymaker, the next Angry Birds or Minecraft per se. So yeah, don't let those go to waste.